And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Pull out your smartphone, save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Call us on the cell phone. We love it when it blings. 813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
Check out our website, consumerqb.com, the newly redesigned website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you there. You can see testimonials, episodes, videos, live stream of our television show version on WeBeam TV. You can see all of our show contributors as well, our expert contributors, 80 show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we all want to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder, if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. We're going to make you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's intelligent talk radio, and I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Mario Larrea, he's a mortgage expert, Mutual Mortgage. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, Brandon, good to be here. I'm going to be talking about kind of what people can expect when going through the process of applying and obtaining a mortgage, and just kind of some of the nuances and stuff. A lot of people haven't financed recently, so when they come to get a mortgage now, it's changed quite a bit in the past few years.
Yeah, a lot of changes coming down the pike, and a lot of misnomers out there as far as down payment. What about investors, veterans? Real excited about some of the veterans, the recent developments. Yesterday, we just inked a deal. We're going to be on a nationally syndicated show as well. That's right here out of this station. He's Captain Matt Bruce. You may have seen him walking around the halls before, but he's got a nationally syndicated show 2 to 6 a.m. In the morning. So we're going to be coming on at 5:30 a.m. with him to a national audience. We're going to be talking about mortgages. We're going to be talking about veteran loans. And he's got a huge following on Facebook and social media. Great guy, veteran, not only in the military, but also as a firefighter. Captain Matt Bruce here with AM 1380 The Biz. He's on 860 The Answer as well. A lot of stations. So real excited about that. We're going to be expanding our reach for our veterans there as well. So because it's Platinum MVP Realty, we'll also rebate 1/4 to 1/2 point back to any veterans that do a loan through our system here. So also in studio as well, Stanley Armstrong, estate sales specialist, everything but the house. Welcome back in, sir.
Hey, Brandon, thank you. Excited to be here with you guys again today. And we're obviously going to educate people on the estate sale industry and how we've taken a historical dinosaur of estate sales and transitioned it to the online, moved into the 21st century. And it's really powerful what we've been able to do.
Show them the money. He's going to help show you the money. You got so many people have money just laying around their house. They got silver. They
Lots
got
of money.
These estate sales. I had a great one yesterday. I got to tell you about. I got to show you the pictures for
All
that.
right, looking forward to
it's
it.
Some vacant land down in Waimama, down south. But man, they've got some beautiful a 5,000 square foot building that's just jam packed with everything. It even has like an MMA arena in there.
Wow.
It was a beautiful octagon-style arena. So some pretty cool stuff. So Stanley Armstrong can help you when you're looking to transition. A lot of times it's in the transitions in life. There's death, there's divorce, there's bankruptcy, there's these different areas where, stuff in the house has to be sold, everything but the house. And then, of course, I sell the house. So I'm with Platinum MVP Realty. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay and a longtime realtor here in Tampa Bay, helping you win. Published author as well. We'd love for you to check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We're teaching people how to start their own radio and TV show, and we also announcing a cool partnership now. It's official. We partnered up with Ken Shamrock You might know him as the Ultimate Fighting Champion, WWE, WWF, Pride Fighting Championship. His partner, Des Woodruff, and I were really looking forward to working together. Lindsay is as well, my fiance, and we're going to be bringing this nationwide. So some really cool developments. Check out their podcast, by the way. It's called The World's Most Dangerous Podcast. Episode 1, we were featured in their Lion's Den, kind of like a Shark Tank type scenario, and it was really cool. So a lot of cool things happening, a lot of positive momentum here, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I've got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here in St. Pete. I've got a beautiful listing right next to the Hotel Zamora on St. Pete Beach. This is 3610 Casablanca Avenue in St. Pete Beach. It's a duplex. Great opportunity at $620,000. A great opportunity to invest in a hot area of the country is St. Pete Beach, a beautiful area. You walk across this Gulf Boulevard and you put your toes into the sugar sands of the Gulf of Mexico, the beautiful beaches. And we're giving a shout out to Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. Felicia Lacaille is a longtime friend of the program here. Meal plan starting at $90. Optimal fuel, optimal performance from Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. Organic veggies, natural proteins, delivered fresh 3 times a week. Meal plan starting at $90. So 10 meals a week dropped off to your home or office. You know, what else do you have in this life if you don't have your health? You know, very important. I love it when Monday, Wednesday, Friday roll around. I've got a new drop off, a new order of excellent foods, all types of different beef, chicken, organic veggies, natural proteins delivered to my home and office. And I really appreciate Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet, longtime friend of the program. We would encourage you to reach out to her as well. What else do you have in this world if you do not have your health? Also coming up, we're going to test our expert contributors in their classic rock songs, classic rock knowledge. So we've got our Name That Tune coming up later in the show, so you guys start getting ready for that. And USF St. Pete student raises first Southeastern guide dog on campus. As you know, we've had Mayor Rick Kreisman on the show in the past, and that's one of his favorite charities, charitable organizations, is raising the guide dogs for the blind and those that are in need. So USF, we got an interesting story in our Feel Good segment of the week as well, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. You know, Mario Larrea, longtime friend of the program and you know, mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay. A lot of misconceptions, a lot of misnomers out there. People think they got to have 20% down. There's a lot of different things that we can help educate on and helping consumers. That's what we do.
Yeah, definitely. And you had touched on something earlier, the VA loans, the Veteran Administration. If somebody is qualified for those or has access to those programs, are amazing. I mean, it's government money that's lent, so the interest rates are lower than your conventional mortgage rates, 0 down payment. I've had people come in that basically didn't put anything down. I mean, they put their initial deposit and even get that refunded. So, you know, it's a great product, great interest rates. We can process those within 30 days as well, or actually less than 30 days. So, you know, if you're eligible for those, it's a great product to take a look at. You can hold on to a little bit more of the cash that you have on hand. And, you know, there's always unseen expenses coming up when you move into a home. Right. You know, you think it's in great shape, you get there, and then, you know, I just talked to somebody that I just did a mortgage for. He closed last Friday, and he was thinking about removing a shelf. And they decided, well, once they did that, they're painting. Now there's crown molding. Now it's just a laundry list of things that, you know, he wasn't actually thinking until they got in there. So, you know, if you can hang on to a little bit more cash, you always have some options to fix the place up. Not only VA loans, but, you know, we do have USDA too, which is 0% down if you're in a little bit more of a rural area. And then if you're not, you can get a conventional loan as low as 3% down. FHA is 3.5%. And then if you actually don't have money for a down payment, there's a lot of programs out there that will actually pay the down payment and your closing costs for you. So it's a lot easier getting into homes now than it has been in the past few years. So, you know, it's something to definitely take a look at. It's a great time to buy right now.
Let me ask you a question on back to the VA mortgage. I had an offer on one of my listings out in Brandon yesterday. The buyers of VA are going to be a VA loan. The existing mortgage is a VA. Are they assumable? And if so, what's the advantage?
They are. Technically, they are. You don't see it happening all that often right now. especially with VA, because, like FHA is assumable as well, but VA, I mean, the rates are so low right now, you probably would be better off getting a new mortgage as opposed to assuming somebody's old mortgage with a little bit higher rate. You don't have to come in with any money, so, that takes that part off the table. But, the process for assuming a mortgage is very similar to getting a new mortgage. So today, with the pricing as low as it is, you're pretty much better off just going for the whole mortgage right then and there.
You still have to hit certain qualifications on the credit.
You do. You're still going to have to be able to, credit-wise, income-wise, I mean, you're still going to have to qualify. So it's not a whole lot different. In years past, it was a real advantage if you purchase a VA home now, interest rates shoot up over the next 5 years. Now the assumable mortgage is going to be an advantage when you're selling, because you can actually, somebody else could assume that mortgage provided, they're VA eligible. And instead of, let's say, rates double or something, they're going to be able to lock into the rate that you locked into today. So, it's a definite advantage over, somebody else that's selling the home.
We're talking with Mario Larrea, mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Mario, a lot of times we talk about renters out there. The renters are overpaying for the rent that they're getting. They're in some cases they're forced into that position due to economic things that happened in the past with the Great Recession. They were forced into a loan modification or a foreclosure. Their credit's mangled a little bit. Maybe they sold the house they couldn't afford. Now, with renters, they're basically paying about 30% more than they could be on a new mortgage. Is that right? Some of the latest numbers?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I had read something saying that rates would have to get up to be like in the 9.5% range for it to actually be equate to what rent, what going rate, of rent is today. So, and the other part is you can't write any of that off. You're not retaining any of the money you're paying for rent. I mean, you're basically paying somebody else's mortgage for them, and you're not retaining anything. So a lot of advantages to actually purchasing. I get a lot of people that once they're renting, they go to purchase. Not only does their payment come down, but one of the things that a lot of people don't think about, especially first-time home buyers, is being able to write off that interest. So payment comes down, you're getting a portion of that back in your taxes or paying less in taxes, depending on what your situation is. Again, you really want to talk to an accountant as far as how that works, but or how much it's going to get you back in your particular situation. But either way, it's going to get you more money back, or save you less on income taxes. So it's definitely a great advantage in many ways, purchasing over renting.
Yeah, I love it. When we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more about how you can invest in real estate as well. We'll give a shout out to Scott Maurer with Advanta IRA. If you're buying through IRAs, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and kind of gear the conversation a little bit more for our investors out there. And also more from Stanley Armstrong coming up as well. Everything but the house, estate sales. He's an estate sales expert here in Tampa Bay. And we've got some interesting stories. USF St. Pete student raises first Southeastern guide dog on campus, and we have our lightning round coming up in our feel good story of the week. So stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, former USF football player. I played on the inaugural football team at the University of South Florida. Real excited about the Bulls off to a great start here this year, and a lot of the things happening in Tampa Bay. The market's hot, the economy's booming. A lot of positivity around the marketplace. Even though we had storms, we had setbacks, our community's coming together. Prime example of that, Juan Conchero Catering by the Family, our catering partner, flying down. He's a pilot with On the Upwind Flying Club, flying supplies down to Key West, him and an army of volunteers bringing thousands of pounds down to Key West, helping out Puerto Rico as well. So we're coming together as a community here, and we're going to help each other. That is a fact. So in studio today, we got Mario Larrea. He's a mortgage expert with Mutual Mortgage, that is. And we also have Stanley Armstrong, estate sales specialist, everything but the house. And let's go back to Mario. We're talking about investors, Mario. What a great opportunity. If you're buying real estate, number one, what a great asset class. You can insure the asset. It's going to most likely appreciate every 10 years. It's going to be doubling in value. Great opportunity to invest. You couple that with the fact that you can buy it through an IRA and defer all the taxes, never pay taxes. We had Grant Cardone on the show in the past. A lot of folks that follow social media know him. He talks about how he's never paid taxes on any of his real estate holdings because as long as you leave it in the IRA, you don't ever have to have any tax consequence.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. And, there's a lot of things as far as on the mortgage side now that are available to investors as well. You have we have rehab loans now available where you can actually get a property that, you normally wouldn't have been able to purchase if there was some damages or something like that. So the property needs a new roof, needs new AC. You can actually finance that cost into the mortgage now. So, there's a lot of different options out there, for investment. Another one, like you had mentioned earlier, is a duplex. I mean, you can go in, purchase the property, could use it as your primary and have somebody else pretty much pay the mortgage for you, or, just get it as an investment. You're getting double the amount of rent there as well. So, a lot of different options right now as far as from the investing standpoint. And it's a great time to buy. Interest rates are still at historic lows. I mean, they're really, really low. And, it enables you to buy a little bit more property with the rates as low as they are.
Yeah, they sure are, man. The rates are still great, and I think they're going to stay there for some time. I mean, the economy's still kind of slowly kind of rebounding. The GDP is still, not anything stellar. Trump's talking about his new tax plan and hopefully going to have some tax reform, and that's going to help it. But I don't see anything drastically changing rates.
They say that they're going up, but they've been saying that for years. And, the other thing, too, is that there's things that you can't account for. I mean, if there's, for instance, problems in the Middle East or problems in other parts of the world or even in the U.S., it affects the interest rates. So, anytime there's anything bad that happens, our interest rates drop. So,
that's right.
I mean, it's bad for everybody else, but if you're purchasing, it's a good time for you is for a homeowner.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's shift gears here and talk with my man Stanley in the house here. Stanley Armstrong, everything but the house. And what an awesome business model you guys have. You're helping people sell a lot of their unwanted items. Maybe they're moving. There's a lot of ways that you guys get involved and help people maximize on the sale.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Mario's over here talking, I was really thinking about people that are looking to try to figure out how to have, if they do need some money for a down payment. A lot of our business, actually over 50% of our business, is just people that are moving. Yep. That they don't have the extreme situation of a death, which is what people think when they hear estate. That somebody had to die, and yeah, we'll handle that, sure. But a lot of our business is people that are moving, they're downsizing, they're going from that 5-bedroom, 5,000 square foot house down to a 2-bedroom condo or an assisted living facility. Yep. They realize their kids don't necessarily want all the stuff they've collected over the last.
And they probably 40. Don't either.
Yeah. Well, and that's why it's been off in a garage or an attic, or it's just been sitting in
you
run
rooms.
Into
any hoarders anymore? From time to time, maybe.
From time to time. From time to time, we come across hoarders. That's why we actually have 2 separate contracts in our business. One of them is a specific hoarder contract, because it does cost a lot more money to handle a hoarder house. So we don't charge for our services. We only take a commission on whatever we sell, just like you guys do as a realtor.
Right.
So we do have a contract for hoarders, specifically that is a little bit higher percentage for us. But not as much as you would think. Right. Most people are fairly good about cleaning out their stuff themselves. Most of the time the hoarders that you would see are people that are dealing with more of what I would call junk. Which sometimes people want to equate a estate sale to a garage sale, and that's not the idea. Right. The idea is, for what we're trying to do, is we're a high-end estate sale. And if you go to our website, ebth.com, I mean, everything but the house, you'll see. I mean, we're selling jewelry's our number one seller. We're selling Rolexes. We actually 3 days ago we just sold a Bentley Continental GT Turbo W12 engine. Just sold it 3 days ago.
How'd it go? Wow. What'd it go?
It went for $57,000.
Nice.
It was 2005. And if you go on there and I just did some looking up to see what other 2005s with similar mileage were selling for, and they were selling around $40,000. Actually, didn't realize they were that low. So we got about 17,000 above what other places were selling these similar cars for.
Nice.
Which is pretty impressive. Which on average, we're averaging 30% above Kelley Blue Book value for vehicles. But the reason I say that is I want people to understand is we can help get them money for stuff they've got sitting around. They may have a safety deposit box where they've got jewelry sitting that they haven't worn in 10 years.
Right.
Well, guess what? Call us. You don't have to be emptying your estate. You just got to say, hey, I got some jewelry I want to get rid of. We're going to get you top dollar for jewelry. Right. Now, everything on our site is going to start at $1, no minimum and no reserve. But the bidding psychology is what has made everything so successful for us, because now you open the buyer base up to over 1 million bids per month, over 150 countries that we've shipped to, because of that bidding psychology. So don't worry, if it's got value, we're going to get value for it. Perfect example, the Bentley.
I like that the psychology side of it. It's awesome in sales. I love to learn about the sales. And then just this past week, we've had Leela Bloodsworth, a new partner on the show. Okay, she's a licensed psychotherapist down in St. Petersburg, more so with families and about, of course, helping children cope now with the changing landscape with the bullying online, social media. Those types of scenarios. But I want to get her paired up with you next time when you come on the show and kind of talk about the psychology behind that, because you can get more for the assets a lot of times because of the psychology and the bidding process.
Yeah, we typically right now we're averaging between 3 and 5 times higher proceeds for stuff than if people try to go a regular traditional estate sale option.
Yeah,
but because of the global audience too.
Right.
You drag 50 people through a house doing guerrilla marketing. I mean, come on, you're going to get way better traffic if you've got 1 million people bids on on a website that's national. I mean,
It's sure economics. I mean, it's supply demand. There's more buyers. And by the way, if you're buying out there, there's only 12 or 14 weekends until Christmas coming up.
That's right.
So a great time to get on ebth.com and start knocking off some items off your list.
Absolutely. Hey, once you start buying and you start seeing the things we have for sale on there, you'll realize, wait a minute, maybe you got stuff sitting around your house that you can sell with us. So buy from us, sell with us, and we'll have a nice circular relationship going there.
Yeah, I like it, man. Just log on, create an account, and you're ready to go. So Stanley, so good stuff, man. I like that. And so you got the estate sales. We got so many different ways that we can help you here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. Of course, we're heavy in real estate and credit, finance. We've got health experts that we're bringing on the show. We want you to think about the show as the hub of your financial, your business, your health wheel. Each spoke extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our on-air expert contributors that we bring on the show to help make you more street smart, to help you understand more about your daily decisions, things that happen. Things are going to happen in life. You got these geopolitical stories out there, but we want you to focus on that economy between your ears. There's the economy out there, the economy between your own ears, and that's what we're going to help you here with on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372. 670-REQB. That's our consumer advocate hotline. Anything you hear on the show today, we would love to hear from you via text or a call, 670-7372. And when we come back, we're going to talk about USF St. Pete student raises first Southeastern guide dog, and we're going to have our expert contributors. We're going to have our Name That Tune segment. So all songs today are classic rock songs. We're going to have our expert contributors try to guess these songs here coming up. And more from our expert contributors here, Consumer Quarterback Show. 5 p.m. drive time here, AM 1380 The Biz, syndicated on the weekends on FM 102.5 The Bone, and we're going to help you win in any marketplace. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. If you're a seller out there on the fence thinking about selling, we would love to talk to you and have an opportunity to interview for the sales agent position there, the listing agent. And got a couple of hot ones I want to let you know about. This one's in Largo, Tanglewood Drive in Largo. This is 14465 Tanglewood Drive in Largo, $560,000 Bay Hill subdivision, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, over 2,900 square feet, 3,500 plus total square footage, and it's in the Bays Hill subdivision on a double lot with a beautiful curved driveway. A wonderful pool home in Largo, great buying opportunity. As well out in Plant City, we've got a great property, Kelly Road in Plant City, 5421 Kelly Road. 3-bedroom, 3-bath property, over 8,100 square feet. You've got a $2 million asset here on 12.89 acres. Brand new listing from Platinum MVP Realty. Check out all the pictures professionally done from Fabre Frameworks, our real estate partner here, photography partner with Fabre Frameworks. Check them out at PlatinumMVPRealty.net and PlatinumMVPRealty.com. A couple of beautiful properties here in Tampa Bay we would love for you to see. And let's go ahead and jump into... we've got our feel-good story coming up here. And in studio today with me, I've got Mario Larrea, Mutual Mortgage. He's a mortgage expert. Stanley Armstrong, everything but the house. He's an estate sales expert. And we're going to test their knowledge when it comes to classic rock. You guys ready for Name That Tune?
As ready as I'm going to be.
Let's do it. All right, name that tune. All right, here we go. Let's see where you guys stack up here. Classic. You guys don't know that one?
I know it.
Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine. That's a good one. All right, here we go. Number 2.
Hotel California.
Hotel California. And for the bonus point, who sings it?
Eagles.
The Eagles. All right, here we go.
Queen.
That's a weird song. That's a weird one. But Queen, you are right. Bohemian Rhapsody. All right, here we go.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
You know what,
Don't
Stanley?
Stop Believing.
You got it. Journey.
I'm killing
Don't
him.
Stop Believing. All right.
I think I'm playing by myself here.
I grew up listening to country.
You
I
kill
listened
me
to more
there.
country growing up too, but some of the stuff. Here's one you probably know.
AC/DC.
Yeah, Back in Black. This one I don't really know. This next one.
And a crowd of young boys, they're fooling around in the corner.
Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing. Yeah, cool. So there's our Name That Tune. Name that tune. Have a little fun with you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got our feel-good story of the week here coming up as well. The feel-good story, we always try to do something positive out there. We're very positive around this show, and we're going to tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
So you got the Southeastern Guide Dog program here in St. Pete. Got a new student living in the dorms, but this one has 4 legs. So a 3-month-old yellow lab puppy named Petey moved in on Wednesday. The dorm will be his home for the next year alongside of senior Stephanie Campos. So Petey is a future Southeastern Guide Dog. The nonprofit teamed up with the university about a year ago when Puppy Loves Club started, and the students got the opportunity to train and training techniques to raising puppies. And there are 20 club members who live on the floor of the dorm room, and it's in the same dorm room. And it's pretty incredible. We are able to impact our community this way and help other people that are visually impaired or blind because they give them their independence back, said Campos. So PD will go everywhere on the campus. In about a month, he'll be able to attend classes with Campos, and during breaks she'll take her home with him. Student Southeastern Guide Dog said USF St. Pete is a perfect spot to raise PD, who is named after the city. So yeah, pretty cool. After spending about 14 to 16 months with Campos, PD will return back and serve as a Southeastern Guide Dog, and we'll have 6 months of intensive harness training. and trainers will then decide if it would be matched with visually impaired person, a veteran with PTSD, or another disability. Southern Guide Dog says it hopes that it can place more puppies raised at USF, Pete, and St. Pete campus within the future. So there's your feel-good story of the week.
That's great.
Nice.
Get the dogs out there helping some of the veterans and the PSTD and all that good stuff, post-traumatic stress syndrome. All right, so let's go back into our consumer advocate topics today. So we're talking about real estate. We're talking about investments, and Mario. The way that the industry is looking right now is you have a lot of inventory or a lack of inventory and a lot of buyers, a surplus of buyers. And on the buyer side, sometimes they don't understand the importance of getting the pre-approval, or when I bring it up to them on the phone, it's like, oh, I don't want to go to that route yet.
I see that all the time, and I get it, because, like if I go buy a car, the last thing I want to do is go talk to the finance guy.
Right.
But there's a lot full of cars out there. Real estate's not the same. I mean, if you find a house and you want to make an offer, if you don't have that pre-approval letter, you're not going to get the house, because somebody else is going to make the offer. And, let's say you make the same exact offer as somebody else with a pre-approval letter. They're going with somebody with the pre-approval letter.
Yeah.
If you're actually going to take the time to go out there and look at houses, you're wasting your time if you're doing it without a pre-approval letter.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good analogy. The car lot's full of cars, but the Tampa Bay market is not
right.
full of inventory. And you look at especially when you get in specifics of, I want the detached townhome or single family home with a pool. There's only going to be a certain amount of prime inventory that you want as a buyer. So you've got to get that pre-approval in place. In Mario Larrea, the best in the business here in Tampa Bay. Now, local economy, local lender. This is something that we talk about on the show. Support your local economy. You can walk into the big branch banks that you see on the side of the road there. You're driving around. They bought up the prime real estate, and I don't have to say the names of these companies, but if you do your research, you'll see that these same companies are the ones that are getting $1 million fines every year because of unscrupulous business tactics that they're utilizing. You'll see that they're the same ones that took the bailout money and essentially gave a lot of people raw deals on loan modifications, stuck people with $185,000 balloon payments on their homes. These are the banks that don't have the customer service that you have on a local level. So we want you to work with local companies here. And Mario, your company's based right here in Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right here in a lot of those big companies, because I have friends. I've been in the industry here locally for 16 years, so I have friends that work in big banks, but most of the time you go into a local branch, they're actually farming you out to somebody else. So
right.
Like with me, you walk into my office and it's me. I'm the one you're dealing with. All I do is mortgages. So, we specialize in what we do, so we're a lot more proficient. Now, the other thing that you mentioned too is all the fines and stuff that a lot of the larger banks have. What that ends up doing to the consumer is there's a lot more red tape that the big banks end up having to go through. So, I tell people all the time, I'll close your loan within 30 days. If not, I'll give you $1,000 at closing. These big banks, they can't do that. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not in that big of a rush. But what it boils down to is that you as the consumer are actually doing a lot more work, providing more documentation, going through more disclosing, going through a lot, jumping a lot more hurdles than if you go with me. And that's why I can get it done fast. So it's not only a time factor, it's a stress factor. You have less work to do. It's stressful buying a house anyway. So you may as well reduce the amount of stress that you have going through it, if you can.
And time is of the essence as well.
Right.
A lot of times if you can put on there, we're about to roll into October here. So if you say, you're putting together a contract, you say, we'll close the last Friday in October versus another lender that says, oh, we need 45 days. We'll close the second week of November. Then, that's going to be a competitive advantage for you as a buyer.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of boils down to the same thing I was just talking about earlier, with making an offer with and without a pre-approval letter. You want to distinguish yourself from the other people making the offer. So if you have two people side by side submit the same exact offer, one says 30 days and one says 60 days, who are you going to pick?
Right.
You want to go with the company that is going to be able to get those things done. And, if you're going to go out there and invest the time, you want to, if you make an offer, you want to get it accepted. So, it's definitely something to think about. And the other thing too is if you're dealing with somebody here locally, a lot of the times the realtors will know, they've worked with me before or something like that. So they already know who I am. So It's not like you're dealing with somebody who's, let's say in New York or something like that. They have no clue who that person is, how they're going to be, if they're going to return phone calls, so it gives the sellers a little bit extra level of comfort.
Yeah, highly respected in the industry. The pre-approval is going to mean more than a particular, and that's the other thing that gets me too. When you look at some of these other lending companies and the truth and lending laws are out there, but really, when they're talking about these different gimmick type loan programs, they talk about no lender fees, no costs, we'll pay all your costs. These types of scenarios, you can't, there's a business that's being run. You have to make money somewhere.
Right. I mean, it's not like they're a nonprofit or they're just out there doing it to be nice. I mean, they're making money. So if they're telling you no closing costs, you're paying it one way or another. So either you're paying it in the rate or you're paying it up front. And, if they're really going and paying all closing costs, you're paying a lot more over the life of the loan, or even within the first few years. If you don't hold on to the mortgage for the whole life of the loan, you're paying more. So you really want to get in and figure out what that looks like. And, another thing too with mortgage advertising is people always, companies always advertise the absolute best scenario. So you're looking at a $300,000 loan amount, and, a $300,000 loan amount, the rate's going to be a little bit lower than a $100,000 loan amount because we're working on percentages. So you're, a little bit lower percentage, you're still making more money on the higher loan amount. So, you got to take everything into consideration because there's a lot of factors.
Yeah, absolutely. Loan to value, the amount of down payment, is there mortgage insurance on the loan? What type of loan is a conventional loan? Let's go back to those. By the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Mario Larrea, mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay, Mutual Mortgage, and I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. But let's go back to those renovation loans for the investors. Are those any types of government loans, or are those kind of private money?
Those aren't. They're actually, they're Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae has them, so they're not really private money. It's a conventional mortgage. So those are going to take a little bit extra time. Like how I was saying that I do the 30-day or $1,000. Those aren't going to count because you add a whole nother element there of contractors and all kinds of other stuff that in and of itself is a process. But yeah, I mean, for investors, they're getting conventional interest rates. So the interest rates are great. I mean, you still have to put 25% down, which is basically the same as any other investment property. But now you can finance, whatever you want into it, as long as it's adding value to the property. I mean, if you go in, you can add, like I've had people add an outdoor kitchen, or a pool. Like, you can add anything. It doesn't have to just be repairs.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so stay with us here. When we come back, we're going to talk more with our expert contributors here in studio. We're going to talk with Stanley Armstrong as well, everything but the house, estate sales specialist, and more from Mario Larrea here in studio. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate program. Check us out online, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
On November 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, your radio and TV stations will participate in the first ever nation.
listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty and Hula Bay. One of our restaurant partners is Hula Bay, 5210 Tyson Avenue in South Tampa. You got to check out Hula Bay. Waterfront ambiance, excellent food, wide variety on the menu, and the sushi is fresh from Hawaii every 2 days. And on the weekends, they've got live music at Duke's Retired Surfer Bar down below. It's a great place, a great opportunity. You can have parties there as well. We've done some parties in the past there, right next to Freedom Boat Club as well down in South Tampa. So go down there and say hello to the management team. Todd, let him know the real estate quarterback sent you, and he's going to hook you up with that proverbial, that water with lemon every time. He's going to hook you up. So we're here in the studio helping you win in any marketplace. I got a beautiful property in Northeast St. Petersburg, 215 12th Avenue Northeast in St. Pete, 4 bedrooms, 5 bath, and it's a pre-construction build. So you have the opportunity to design this property, colors, countertops, cabinets, appliances, and flooring. Once you're in escrow, you can pick out all those different aspects and finishing touches on the property. 3,688 square feet heated, and it's a $1.1 million property, $1.19 million property at 215 12th Avenue Northeast in St. Petersburg. Great listing from Platinum MVP Realty here in beautiful Tampa Bay.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, so in studio today, we got Mario Larrea, mortgage expert with Mortgage Mutual Mortgage. We've got Stanley Armstrong as well, estate sales specialist, everything but the house. And Stanley, your company is going to help people maximize the profits and minimize the stress.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like Mario's doing for mortgages and minimizing hassles and stress, that's exactly what our focus and why we were founded. Our founder, because she was dealing with an estate sale and realized that, wow, there's got to be a better way. So what we actually do is when you call us free consultation, come in, look at the property, look at the stuff with, in the house on the property that we can potentially sell. We're going to be able to bring a team in to be able to pack up all the stuff for them that we're going to sell and take it out of there. We're going to photograph all the large items that are in the home. We're going to buy a professional photographer. We're going to bring into the house, photograph those, and then we're going to list all those on our website for sale. The things that are for sale, and then anything that maybe doesn't have high sale value that we just know is not going to bring them money, we're obviously going to arrange donations, and we can even arrange trash removal for situations where people have a lot of stuff in their garage, chemicals, and we have a national partnership with Junk King, and we'll bring them in to be able to help clean out their stuff and their mattresses and things like that you're not allowed to sell because of bed bug issues in some houses.
Oh, right.
Anyway, but we're gonna maximize their profit, minimize their stress, and I just too many times we see people and they start thinking, well, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna list stuff on Craigslist, or I'm gonna list stuff on on OfferUp or Let Go, and they got these different apps they do, and what they start realizing is now they've got to manage payment, they've got to handle the shipping of the items, they've got to handle coordination with people that, oh, do I want this? Do I not want this? A lot of situations that people don't think about when they're selling something, whereas they say, hey, rather than doing that, let us be the one-stop shop. Let us come in there and take care of everything for you. We're going to list it on, we're going to get you max dollar because we got our global audience. We're going to put it on the website. We're going to manage payment. We're going to, pack the stuff up. And it's way easier on the client already in what's can be a very difficult time in their life that they're already dealing with.
Here's another aspect, legal. You're doing these estate sales, people are walking through your house, somebody trips and falls, in this litigious society, so you guys are going to handle all the legal side of it as well.
Yeah, that's true. And even we'll go even further with especially like jewelry, Rolexes, Breitling, diamond rings, whatever, gemstones, and your purses, your Prada purses, Louis Vuitton, all your high-end. We authenticate all that. We have full-time gemologists. We have a gemology department in Cincinnati, 5 full-time gemologists, and all that stuff goes through that department. So it's going to be authenticated. And that's why people trust us to buy from us versus if you listed on was that a real Rolex or is it a New York City Rolex?
There's some good fakes too. So, if you don't have somebody who knows what they're doing, you can get taken pretty easy.
Wow.
You're right. And that's why we have the buyer base that we have. We have the trust that we have from people is because we are going to authenticate it and people know, hey, if we're selling it, it's real.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring a lot more value than people. I wonder if I'll take a chance. So
Yeah. Everything but the house, ebth.com. Also on the buying side, if you're looking to buy, it's a great place to find some good deals on there. Let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning rounds.
Right. Top tips, things to do, nuggets of advice. Mario Larrea, Mutual Mortgage.
Again, I've said this time and time again, but I run into this a lot. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is in the mortgage industry. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of people out there that are doing the old bait and switch, and I see it all the time. And with a purchase, once you get locked in, you've already paid your appraisal, you've already paid the home inspections. By the end, if somebody quotes you something real low and it comes down to it, then they raise it. A lot of times you're stuck. So shop around, look online, see what people's ratings are, talk to somebody locally, talk to your realtor, see who they refer. If they have a personal relationship with somebody, it's going to be a lot better than looking for the lowest interest rate on the internet.
Yeah, that happens a lot in real estate too. On the real estate side, when you get into the wholesale investor side, where they're people are selling a lot or a building that needs to be torn down. There's some particular stories I've heard about local lender here is doing, or a local builder that's doing some building in town, but they'll get right to the closing table and they say, oh well, I know we agreed to pay $210 for that lot, but yeah, we're only going to be able to pay you $199 now. Or that structure, like different contingencies come up and they kind of change the game. So unfortunately, across the line, mortgage, real estate, there's going to be some characters that perpetuate that type of a theme throughout, their business model. So
yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right, Stanley, top tips, things to do, nuggets of advice.
Things to do. Look at what you got in your house. Look at things that are sitting, a vehicle that's in your garage. If you ain't driving it, or you're ready to upgrade coming up, hey, call us. If you got the title, we'll sell your car for you. And we're averaging about 30% above Kelley Blue Book value. Look at your jewelry box. Look at your safety deposit box. Think about your China and your sterling, because those are all things that we're getting top dollar for right now. You got Christmas coming up. Hey, let us get you some money so that you can then go spend it on other places that you want to, things that you want to buy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely. Think a layer deeper is one thing I would say is, think a layer deeper when you're making decisions. Be more smart, be street smart about it. A lot of times there's these bait and switch tactics. You see scams coming about. You got identity theft running rampant nowadays. Even one of our credit bureaus, got hacked. The federal government's getting hacked. We've got William Crawley, the credit magician, on our team here. So no matter what you need, we've got the best experts available for you to help you win in any marketplace, no matter what you're facing out there. So I want to thank Mario Larrea, great job today, mortgage expert, Mutual Mortgage, Stanley Armstrong, estate sales specialist, everything but the house. And shout out to John Gaston with WeBeam TV, all of our expert contributors here, and our show producers helping put the show together. Thanks so much, and appreciate you as well, listeners out there, our viewers. We really appreciate you engaging. We got our gratitude party coming up on the 19th of the month, October 19th, coming up at 5 o'clock over at Cox Media Group in St. Pete. So if you want to join us for that, we'd love to engage with you. Just reach out to our hotline or consumerqb.com. Just submit the form and RSVP. You got to RSVP at consumerqb.com or 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline, 670-7372. And please go out there and consider being a random act of kindness here in Tampa Bay. Be a force for good. Pack up some leftover food, hand it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good out there. Be nice to one another, and control your road rage from time to time. I see that out there in Tampa. So we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.